Rhythm, living in flow, not force. Whew. Are we ready for that? Well, this month, we're going to look at the ebb and flow, the emotional flow of our lives, and how that works to help us plan in the very practical weekly planning process. So I want to take it from the big picture thinking down to our challenge, which is how to plan our week based on connection, not control. And in order to set up this month's content, rather than rewrite, I'm going to read a bit of my book in chapter 12, which is called Caught Up Isn't a Place, because this will set the context that we need for some of the additional content and exercises that we're going to do. Chapter 12, Caught Up Isn't a Place. Once upon a time, there were three young girls. They grew up inseparable, laughing and supporting one another through their youth. One grew up to be a wife and a mother, the other went on to a rewarding career in the city, and the third lived with and cared for her grandmother. The girls would connect to chat and catch up every couple of weeks. They'd tell tales of the chaos in their lives. The mom would tell of the kids getting into everything and the constant piles of laundry and exhaustion. The single career girl would talk of the incessant meetings, emails, and the crazy boss she dealt with each week. The girl caring for her grandmother would talk of the endless doctor appointments, trips to the pharmacy, and fights with the insurance company over what bills would be paid. During each phone chat, the girls would long to see each other and talk of the day they could meet somewhere for the weekend to share some laughs and connect. And each time, at least one would say, "That sounds great. When I get caught up, let's get together." And lo and behold, there came a day when the mom had all the laundry done and the dishes put away. The kids were clean, fed, and happy, and the husband was happily whistling while he worked. The single career girl had this very same day that her inbox was empty. Her boss was grinning, and her clients were paying her well and demanding very little of her time. The girl working and caring for her grandmother had a week off with no doctor's appointments. The bills were paid and papers were filed. Grandmother had gone for the week to play bingo with her friends upstate. They quickly booked a trip and met in a wonderful place and laughed and joked and spent the weekend like the girls they had always been. The end. Can you imagine this actually happening? No, because caught up is a fairy tale myth. It's not a place we get to. You're never getting caught up. Ever. When I get caught up is the master phrase of striving, battle, and control. When I get caught up can be the excuse for staying stuck. And maybe most concerning, the striving attempt to be caught up is how we unintentionally isolate ourselves by trading meaningful connection for controlling and producing. Email is always coming in, there will always be laundry to wash, and there's always another meeting to plan and soccer game to attend. There's no magical place of bliss and organization called caught up. I attempted it for years. I was the queen of hustle. I would put the kids to bed and stay up until early morning responding to emails, always trying for that elusive inbox zero achievement award. Late into the night, I'd read through pages of my planner, making sure I had sent and done everything I said I would do, and then add a few extra tasks for good measure. To prove myself. Check, check, check. Whew, caught up, winning, killing the game. You know what? I would wake up the next day feeling pretty cranky, with responses to some of those emails already waiting on me. The entire day I'd be sluggish. By evening, I'd be snapping at the kids for chewing too loud or being indignant. I should have waved the white flag and a sign that read, "It's not you, it's me." But I didn't. Instead, I thought, hustle's my job. I'm to be revered and respected for my hustle game. I'm bringing home the bacon and angrily frying it up in a pan while I bitch and moan about stupid stuff that rarely matters because I'm so damn tired from arriving at inbox zero. The quest to control time and get caught up consumed much of my thinking. As burnout rolled in, slowly taking more of my breath and quietly drowning me, I was forced to look at the elusive caught up prize I was chasing. I did a time study and wrote down all of the things I wanted to accomplish in a week for home and work. I included everything I could think of, from prayers to laundry and the mandatory work meetings in between. I estimated a realistic time associated with each and an average amount of sleep I wanted to get each night, which was less than 8 hours. Y'all, I made a spreadsheet for this. Like a dog with a bone, I was going to figure this out. There, in the auto sum box on my spreadsheet, was the hardcore reality that this was actually an unwinnable game. I just stared at the box on the spreadsheet and slowly blinked for a while. Like my children's baby pictures in my high school yearbook, I wish I had kept that spreadsheet. It became a relic of a life event that changed me in significant ways. This was bullshit. I'm not interested in playing a game I can't win. Milli Vanilli played in a loop in the background. Girl, you know it's true. But the lie was exposed, and I was living a damn lie. Here I was, evangelizing productivity and the value of living a more balanced life and believing every word of what I taught. And to be fair, I helped a lot of people, and I'm grateful for that time. As I thought about my colleagues, the great men I worked alongside, I realized they had wives and stay-at-home moms dividing the labor on that spreadsheet. I was one human trying to do the work of two or more. I was never getting caught up, ever. I started thinking back over my life. Had I ever been caught up? I scanned the past weeks, then months, and went back years. Finally, there it was, 1987. I hadn't been caught up since 1987. It was 12 glorious hours I remember like it was yesterday. I was moving back home to Indiana from Florida. 2 years prior, I had run away from home and spent a couple of years bartending and waitressing in Daytona Beach. I decided it was time to come home. So I packed my car with everything I could fit, leaving the rest behind. And for 12 hours, I didn't have a job, a house, or any responsibilities other than getting myself back to Indiana. I rolled down the windows, smoked cigarettes, and blasted rat and poison cassette tapes with joy and reckless abandon. There it was, the last time I was ever caught up. For those of you who took the more traditional route and went straight from high school to college, you may have never experienced being caught up. It was a magical place for 12 hours. Of course, I had to run away from home and school to get there. Did this mean I had to give up my job and my family to get caught up again? That seemed harsh. What it meant was I needed a better measure of well-being and success. I needed to let go of the attempt to control all the things in my life. I needed a healthy view of the natural ebb and flow of love and life, work, and rest. There was no magical space and place with the laundry done, the inbox zero, the goals met, and the family happy. Caught up was a lie. I needed to let go. Letting this lie go and writing a new narrative to believe was always and is always the first step. I began to reflect on writing a new story. To thrive is to grow. Growth requires evolution and change, bringing something new on and letting something else die away. It's impossible to grow and to control every outcome. Another aspect of this magical trip returning home was that it was full of uninterrupted thinking and dreaming, the long drive full of anticipation and excitement about the next chapter. Being with friends and family and my dreams for the future. Thinking, dreaming, and anticipating is integral to thriving in the natural rhythm of our lives. The opportunity to write in new chapters of our story and to live in 80s rock band joy with anticipation of what's coming next. Exploring the story of our lives, not inconsistent control. We can't put off dreaming until the day when we're caught up. We dream to write a new chapter. What did a thriving life look and feel like for this next new chapter? I wasn't sure I knew. It turns out this is true for many of us high achievers. Reading back over that just makes me emotional, which is a part of the rhythm of our lives. The emotional flow, not force. So this month, we're going to dig into what that means and what we can do to change how we see things and do things for a more thriving life. Stay tuned.